Hello everybody, welcome back to the Huddersfield Town preview show. I'm delighted to be joined by manager Lee Grant. Lee, we're in the inclusion room for the first time at the Accu Stadium. It's a lovely space. I've been explaining to you about what it's about, and if supporters want to learn more about it, it's all on the website. But we want to pick your brains about Tuesday evening out there if we can. A really good victory, professional performance against Newcastle United's under 21s.
Yeah, definitely. So I think first and foremost, off the back of a disappointing result at the weekend, we wanted to make sure we started the week off in really bright fashion and with good energy and good intensity. The lads certainly took all of that on board, and I thought in terms of the approach, the attitude, the intent and the intensity was first class. So that was really, really pleasing. Nice to get some goals to reward that as well. Lots of exciting passages of play. Of course, as always, bits that we want to still improve upon, but in general as a whole, like I say, a really positive start to the week.
Does it almost help to get Barnsley out of the system now, and then by the time that game's over, we're got all eyes and fully focused on Peterborough? I'm not saying we wouldn't be otherwise, but it almost helps that process a little bit more.
Well, yeah. Look, I think immediately post Barnsley, I was listening to our captain's press after the game, and very rightly he talked about an important week. He talked about two big games, both at home, games we want to be successful in and we want to stamp our authority on. So to do that, you got to live and breathe it, and we've done that in the first instance against Newcastle here. So that was really, really important for the group. And then, as you rightly say, heads now turn to another tough fixture. A team that's probably in a more difficult situation than they would have liked to have been early on in the season. But does that make our job any easier? Probably not at this moment, because I imagine if you're Darren Ferguson at this point, you're talking about how important the game is, this being a really big moment, the fact that they came here last year and had success, and they used that as a springboard for them. So all of these sorts of things, you can almost, as a rhetoric, hear it down at their end and how it can play out. So we have to be really guarded against all of that. But for us, focus now on our own part of the bargain, our own jobs. And as I said, certainly with the way we've approached the first part of the week, we're doing that.
There's a little bit of a similarity with how we discussed and approached the Blackpool game in terms of what we're doing as a media thing, because they were struggling at the time. They were looking for their first win, but it's another opportunity to show that we've learnt from that experience and press on from that.
Yeah, exactly. You're right, Raj, because what we've tried to do each and every week is take the learnings from not just the week previous, but the compound learning effect of what's gone on in the first 6 games, 7 games, plus the cup games. And for sure, this weekend is an opportunity for us to say, right, where are we at now in this moment? What have we learned? Where are we up to? And how do we think and what do we want to be going into this game? So absolutely the lessons from Blackpool, from Barnsley, and from all of the successful games we've had as well, by the way, we take with us into this fixture to hopefully leave us in a place to go and attack it.
We've had your thoughts and we've spoken to you about individuals as and when they've arrived at the club this summer, but now the transfer window thankfully is closed. Mm-hmm. It makes our jobs and lives a little bit easier, because it's hectic and it's an additional concern during that period. But 14 new faces in, which isn't a small number. I know it's not the highest in the league, but it's still a significant number. But you've been pleased with everyone that comes in now, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, the club has put in a lot of work behind the scenes to make that happen. And you're right, look, so in this division and the one below, the one above, there is a significant amount of natural churn of players, because contract lengths aren't necessarily the same as what you might see of 5 and 6 and 7 years in the Premier League at the very top level. But look, that doesn't mean that the work we've done over the course of this window isn't significant, because it is. And you take the work that goes on with with Julie, with Jake, with Lee on the last day, in the last moments, in the last minutes. You're talking about a lot of work, a lot of good work by a lot of people behind the scenes to establish, what the supporters can see now as the finished article in terms of squad. Now, of course, for me, that's a real relief as well, because that's been a huge chunk of my work over the first couple of months of the job, and I've loved every minute of that. I also love coaching and managing and being with the players. So now there's an opportunity for me to spend just that little bit more time to do that, because that's hugely important to the work that we're going to do now over the course of the rest of the season. But yeah, for me personally, I'm really happy with what we've put together, and the opportunity now that the players have to look around to the left of them, to the right of them, and to say, yeah, I've got good support, I've got good trust, I've got good challenge, and every day in training I know I've got to be at it, and I've got to be on my money, because there's another guy next to me or behind me or to the right of me who is also very talented and also wants a shirt. So that's exciting for everybody, and certainly for me as a coach who gets to pick between them every week. That's a really good place to be.
I guess it gives you a bit of clarity as well over the next 4 months and 20-25 games of who's available, who you get to pick from, what combinations you might use, and that uncertainty of who might be the next in or who might be the next out is taken away from your thinking.
To some degree, yeah, of course. What we have to factor in now is, of course, all the normal up and downs of form and injury and illness, and everything else, and of course opposition, which also dictates as to what team we field every week. So, but again, look, that's the fun bit. That's the bit that for me, you come into it to be able to coach and manage and lead, but also to select from and make decisions that are important and hopefully will allow the team to be successful this season.
The last two through the door on deadline day, 2 season-long loans, Will Alves from Leicester City and Zepikano Redmond from Aston Villa. Just give us your thoughts on those two, because we have not had the chance to speak about them as yet, given how quickly.
No, yeah, you're right, they come in really late. And 2 young players, 2 exciting players, both fall into our attacking unit, and give us something that we haven't already got in the building, is my belief, and that's what I've tried to do along the way with each and everybody we've recruited, is add to what we've already got. So does he have something in his personality or character or technical ability that's going to allow him to be a difference maker in some area or another? I feel like both of those 2 guys have that, for both different reasons as well. Both have the ability to be able to play across several positions in our front line, which is really important for me as well. So that's really nice. And both have, I believe, both have a really high ceiling and a high potential within their careers. So my job is to help their parent club, in this instance, actually get a player back in 12 months' time that is further down the line in terms of their development. But that's also done selfishly for us and everybody here at Huddersfield Town to make sure that those guys are supporting the work that we want to do and the journey that we want to go on this year. So I believe that both of them will have a great opportunity to help us along our pathway this year, and I'm excited for the fans to get an opportunity to see them do that.
Perfect. The last thing I want to ask you is just looking ahead to our next chat with Marcus Harness. If he features at the weekend, which I won't press you on, it'll be his 400th career game. He's obviously somebody you've worked with in the past and know really well. Just tell us a little bit about him as a player and a person, because that's no small milestone to have reached. It's something he's obviously really proud of in himself, but he's a quieter bloke, a humble bloke, so he's not going to go shouting about it himself. But just tell us a bit about Marcus in your opinion. Yeah,
so to get to that, those level of appearances at a relatively early stage in your career is no mean feat. And Marcus's journey, he hasn't had it all smooth either, and he's had to fight and scrap at plenty of points throughout that journey to get to the level where he is now and where he's been already. And he should be really proud of that fact, of course. We've been delighted with Marcus's performances and attitude and his intensity to his work since he's been with us. I think he's set a real good standard in that sense for everybody, and that's pleasing for me. You want players that are able to absorb information, deliver in training every day, and understand what you want from them on a match day. So Marcus is doing that right now. He's not the only one, by the way, but look, we're pleased with what he's offering us. Delighted he got his goal on Tuesday night. He's been working really hard for that. Of course, he's had a hugely important assist for us down here at this end of the stadium already this season. And we want to put Marcus in more situations where he's getting more goal involvements, more key passes, more goals and assists. And I'm certain that if he carries on the way he started the season, he's going to get plenty more opportunity to do that.
Perfectly, thank you so much for that. And without further ado, let's hear from Marcus himself. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Huddersfield Town preview show. I'm delighted to be joined by Marcus Harness. Marcus, lovely Huddersfield day outside. Yeah. We're here in the inclusion room. Just wanted to pick your brains about the season so far and chat about the next game. Newcastle United under 21s in midweek. First goal for the club. Just give us your feelings.
It was a good game, good exercise for the lads that played. A chance to obviously rest some of the other lads. But yeah, obviously scored the penalty, but it still does feel a little bit cheap. So I don't know if I'll count it myself as my first goal, but yeah, first goal on paper, I guess. So yeah, it's good. Enjoyed the game, and I think it sets us up nicely for another one on Saturday.
I guess even if it was just getting the Barnsley result out of the system, it was an opportunity to get back out there and get back to winning ways.
Yeah. Which we've had 2 losses so far, unfortunately, but the response has been top draw both times, so I think that's a good sign for us, and something we'll be looking to continue, and like you say, sets us up nicely for Peterborough, which is going to be another tough game, but yeah, we're looking forward to it again.
For you personally, how's the first couple of months as a Terrier gone for you? Because it seems to have gone really quickly that we're already in September, and we've played a lot of games so far, having done really well in the cups. What's this period been like for you? You feel really settled now?
Yeah, I've loved it. Really enjoying my time so far. So obviously played a lot of football in August and in pre-season. Played a lot of football, done a lot of work on the training pitch, but like the group's top. Really enjoy just being around the lads. Like, it's a nice place to come into to spend your time. So yeah, loved it. Obviously settled now where I'm living and stuff like that, so can just full focus on football and trying to do the best job that I can.
Obviously we know that you knew Lee Grant from the past at Ipswich as well. Is there any of the other boys you were familiar with or crossed paths with before?
There's loads who I've played against.
Yeah.
Obviously Freddie's here.
Yeah.
Really get on with Freddie, love Freddie. But played against loads of them. So it was pretty easy to kind of integrate, because you've already got stuff to talk about, like games in the past and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really easy. And I think it's all the new lads would probably say the same thing. Even we've had some obviously over the last couple of days. Some of the young lads, like they'll be fine. They'll be straight in with us. So obviously just getting to know them the last couple of days, but I don't worry that the group's going to be a really good group going forward.
That's a good thing to hear from you in particular, because you're part of the new leadership group, and obviously the lads voted on that, and that's something that's come from within the group. Just talk to us about your feelings of being part of that and being elected into it.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise to be elected. It's not something that I would ever put myself forward for, but it is something that obviously at my age, with the experience that I've now got, it's something that I definitely want to work on for myself, just for football and for after football, for life, kind of thing. So it's something that it's been on my mind to try and work on, and obviously being elected by the lads is a great opportunity for me to kind of work on some of the skills that I wanna learn, and learn how to try and get the best out of people and help people with the skills and experience that I have got up until this point. But obviously there's a lot of good leaders in the group, so we're not short on any of that. But I'll obviously always be trying to do my part to help younger lads and whatever. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
I take it from hearing that you mean you're not a rant and a raver, you're more of a quiet arm around the shoulder type.
Yeah, I'm just a quiet guy. I've always been quite reserved. I don't say too much. That's why I always moan when you ask me to do this. but no, I feel like I've got a lot to get. Like I've got a lot I can help with. I don't know it all, but I feel like there are ways that I can help the group, and I'm going to be trying to do that instead of sometimes maybe taking a step back and letting things play out. I'm making an effort to try and step up and kind of have an effect on the group more than I maybe have in my younger days. So
it's an interesting one. It's personal growth as well at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We brought up Peterborough already. They've obviously not had the start to the season they'll have wanted, but in the same way that we saw against Blackpool, that doesn't actually mean anything that by the time Saturday rolls around. I
think I'd impressed before Blackpool as well. I was saying how I might be wrong, but saying that it's even more dangerous. Yeah, it's a free hit, I think, from their point of view. If you think about it, what they're going to be talking about, we're expected to win, and the feeling in the stadium is probably going to be the same. But obviously, we've been around long enough to know that football's not that simple, and it's going to be a tough game again. They've signed a few new players, I think, on the last couple of days.
Yeah.
So they could have a completely different 11 than what we've seen so far. And even if they don't, I think you can see from watching their clips that they're working hard. Like, might not be happening from at the minute, but it's not because they're not working hard.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be a challenge to play against. So I think we just got to do our best to try and give them no momentum in the game, and try and have an effect and kind of blow the wind out their sails early. That might help us. But even if that's not the case, I think we have the squad and the changes that we can make at the end of the game, that we should come up with something at some point, even if the goal comes in the 80th minute like we've seen so far. So yeah, we'll be confident, but we won't be naive to think that we're just gonna stroll around and win the game. So yeah, it'll be another good one, I'm sure.
Fingers crossed. And the reason why, Marcus, we wanted to speak to you today and do this again is it could be your 400th career game at the weekend, which is for somebody who's not 30 yet is quite a milestone. Yeah. Just talk to us about how you reflect on that and the potential of reaching that achievement, because it's a brilliant thing to have.
Yeah, I am pretty proud of that, to be fair. It's not something that I really think about or look at too much. There's been times where I've looked in the past at like how many games I've played or whatever, and I've missed stuff and I'm like, didn't even realise. But I'm glad that kind of this one stuck out and can take a moment to kind of appreciate it. And because obviously when you're coming through and you're 18, 19, 20, you're going on loan, you never really know if you're going to be able to kind of make a career. So it feels good that I can probably finally say I've been there and done it and played enough games, and not that I focus on playing how many games I've played, but I'm at a point in my career where I can just kind of enjoy it, and I'm not playing because I'm like filled with fear of, oh my God, is this going to be the end, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've done enough and played enough. I can just kind of enjoy myself, enjoy the moment, and yeah, I think it'll only make me better, to be honest. So yeah, it's good.
That's good. And even if it don't come on Saturday, it'll come sometime soon. So congratulations in advance for that. Thank you to supporters for watching again. If you want to join us here at the Accu, hopefully it's better weather on Saturday. There's still tickets available, and we'll see you there.